Most of the rocks around us were laid down as the last supercontinent, Pangaea, was breaking up, creating the continents as we recognize them today. Well, not instantly, but eventually. Rocks in the national park are from the Mesozoic era, the age of the dinosaurs. The oldest Mesozoic rocks are made up of tidal, flat, and river sediments preserved in thin beds of red sandstones, siltstones, and mudstones that we're driving through now. During that era, Utah was near the equator, with large rivers that flowed to the west. As the North American tectonic plate moved northward into the arid climate zone, the rivers dried up and gave way to desert sand dunes. Imagine the Sahara Desert. That sand turned into thick sandstones on top of those old layers gathered by the rivers. We can conveniently see that in the cliffs beside us now and along the park scenic drive later. Another shift back to more humid conditions saw the return of rivers and lakes, and those laid down candy-striped mudstones from Arizona to Montana on top of the desert sandstones. Those later formed mudstones are where fossils of Stegosaurus and
fault lines right there. The layers on the right are 150 feet higher than the layers on the left.
Excited to get into Capitol. But before we do, I'd like to tempt us into a trip. We can visit the Goosenecks and Panorama Point overlooks by taking the next turn to the right. You'll see the sign. We can do this little side trip in about 20 minutes. 5 minutes driving in and out, and just 10 minutes to enjoy the views. We'll get to see an impressive canyon, climb around on slick rock sandstones, see the oldest rocks in the park, learn about the largest mass extinction ever, and visit 2 overlooks with some great opportunities for photos and selfies. The road is unpaved, but it is well maintained and suitable for all regular length vehicles. Now this first part is paved. My advice is, let's go to the end of the road first to see the Goosenecks. Then after Goosenecks, we should stop here at Panorama Point on the way back. If we're pulling a trailer, we should unhook before we drive on.
No trailer today.
Scramble up and over slick rock that'll take us to an amazing overlook of Sulphur Creek Canyon. And if it works with our schedule, this is a really terrific spot to enjoy a sunset. It doesn't look like it from here, but we will see that the canyon is steep and deep. What's interesting here is that we're currently driving on top of what we have to look up to as the predominant thick base layer on the official scenic drive section. The older rocks that we'll see inside the canyon are from the last period of the Paleozoic era, called the Permian period. The rocks at the bottom of the canyon are the white rim sandstone. If we've already been to Canyonlands National Park, this is the same distinctive white sandstone layer that often forms the rims of canyons there. You'll remember those views. If we haven't been to Canyonlands yet, you're going to see exactly what I mean. That white rim was once beach sand along the edge of a warm tropical ocean. Above the white rim sandstone is the Permian Kaibab limestone. The telltale is layers of white and gray rock just below the layered rusty red Moenkopi. This unit was deposited in a calm, clear tropical ocean environment offshore from the beach. This time, think of the Bahamas as the environment it was formed in. The Permian white rim sandstone and Kaibab limestone were deposited along the western edge of Pangaea, the last supercontinent, when this part of North America was located. One thing that's fascinating but frustrating here is that the rock layers we see here are completely missing a section that represents, about 30 million years. Most likely those layers just eroded away at this particular location. It's too bad because those missing layers represent the largest mass extinction our planet has ever experienced. The Permian Triassic extinction, also called the Great Dying, which happened just over 250 million years ago. This extinction event was the most severe in Earth's history. Over 95% of marine species and 70% of land-based species died out, never to return. We've been able to study that layer and its fossils in other places, but it sure would have been a bonus if we could have exposed it here too. All right, we should be there now. See if you can spot the layers. And remember, we're looking down into the older rocks in our time scale.
Are you gonna come up? I'll wait. Oh, yeah. And this is the goosenecks.
Ja, häng alltså. Så jag är inte. Lên cho.
It's right here if you want to go to the overlook. Since I went the wrong way.
Wow. Be a long hike down there. It's pretty though. Walk in the river. Voice is scary, huh? I can hear them start.
Yeah.
Not what they're saying, but I can hear them talking.
First studied. Well, at least they didn't name them after themselves. Oh, look, Smith Layer. Oh, Johnson Rock. And this is the other Smith formation. No, not that Smith. The Smith with the green hat. It could have got a little confusing. So when I talk about Moenkopi Formation, which is at the bottom of the cliffs along here, Moenkopi is a place on the Hopi Reservation in Arizona. Above the Moenkopi is the Chinle Formation, described in detail at Chinle, Arizona. Above the Chinle and at the top of these cliffs is the massive cliff-forming Wingate Sandstone, named for Fort Wingate in New Mexico. All right, the next pullout we see on our right is a really great place to see the castle. The castle is made up of all three formations. I gotta say, it looks amazing, especially a little later in the day when the sun comes in from behind us. When we get onto the main scenic drive, we're going to spend more time examining the different layers and what they tell us.
There's the castle. Yeah, I don't want to film it.